How old are you?
29.
Okay. We're actually going to start right there because that was something I like mentally. It was like, I need to ask Kelly how old she is because I
How old are
actually
you?
don't know. 33.
Okay, you're Morgan's age.
How old did you think I was?
Like 32.
Okay.
So like
I'll take
same.
it.
Yeah.
I thought you were under 30 because I feel like you would have had like a I love you so much, but I do feel an
No.
impending like 30 crisis.
It's coming. It's en route. Like March 29th is around the corner and like I'm
Oh, it's soon. What are we doing?
I'm going through it.
Wait, that can be our sister's dinner.
That should be our no, it has to be sooner than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
A prep.
Because like February is a weird month. Like I need to fill up February.
Okay, we'll do it.
And like I want our dinner to be in February.
Okay. Well, I was wondering about this because I wanted to talk because we've said this offline of like I do feel like when I'm watching your content, it feels kindred spirit. We were sisters in another life.
No, we're same different font.
Yes.
People literally
Same text, different font? Yes.
only answers I got to my Q&A were like, no questions, I'm just obsessed with this. You guys look alike. Like
it was a lot of this makes sense.
this is
Crossover, I didn't know I needed
Yes.
those things. So it feels very we've talked about this when we've been together and the first time we met. Did we first meet at that dinner?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, but we had voice noted a lot before that.
And obviously like DM'd and stuff.
Of course.
The first time I got your content was Lucy sent me you talking about a facial massage thing that you did.
Oh, the buckle massage.
Yeah. And she was like, I got to go see this girl who she's talking about. And then I was like, oh, who's this girl that posted this video? And so that's when I started following you.
Which, by the way, you need that facial. Sorry.
I know.
I'm going to take us on several tangents.
Same.
You
I'm
need
actually
it.
getting a facial on Monday for the first time in so fucking long.
Good.
But that's when I started following you. And I've always felt like I've tried to figure out how to say this without sounding holier than
No,
thou
I know what you're going to say.
or condescending because it's neither.
No, you're watching your younger
It
self.
feels like I'm watching my younger self. Where I'm like, totally get that. Totally get that.
No, and that's
Felt
how I
those
feel
things.
watching you. I feel like I'm watching my older self, and it gives me
Okay.
so much fucking confidence that everything is going to be okay and that we're going to be fine. Like, I'm like, okay, it's going to be fine. Like, we're going to be a mom and, like, everything's going to work out.
We'll
and
figure it
we're
out.
not going to fall apart.
No, I mean, you're not going to fall apart. Of course you're not. But, I mean, well, you know what? You might fall apart, and it's fine. You pick back the pieces and you keep going.
100%.
But when I just feel that way with you. And so that's why I was so excited to have you on. But also why I was like, I need to talk to her about her age because I want to talk first, I guess, about life in your 20s. Because who knew that I did an episode that was like what I wish I knew in my 20s. And it's one of my top performing episodes, which kind of shocks me based on my demographic.
Also, someone asked me that to ask you.
Oh.
So we'll talk about it.
Okay, we'll talk
Yeah.
about that on your show.
Mhm.
But how have you felt your 20s have been as a decade? And then I guess breaking it up into like thirds or quarters.
It's so crazy because I, for whatever reason, even though my 30s are around the corner, I have actually never thought about this, like at my 20s holistically.
Yeah.
And when I think about it now, I realize that I actually have lived, I think, 12 different lives.
Well, you've had so many iterations. That's why I'm wondering.
Like-
as I felt in my 20s too.
like 20 different lives
Yep.
in my 20s. Like when I turned 20, my life kind of like fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
And when I turned 21, my life kind of fell like 20, 21, and 22 were like hardcore life falling apart, rock bottom, picking up the pieces
Yep.
and putting them back together. And then by the time I had put them back together when I was 23, they fell apart again.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually was able to like put them back together faster because I had already like put them back
practice.
together before. So like it was just like on and off, falling apart, getting back together in myself. And then 24 is like when I feel like I started to like become a normal, like functioning member of society and actually like understand life as a big picture and like start to actually mature because, you know, like the frontal lobe was,
Takes a while.
yeah, the frontal lobe was like developing. And when I turned 24 is actually also when I met Andy, my husband. So that's when things started to make a lot of sense and I started to see things more clearly. I also like lived close to my sister and she was able to like micromanage my life.
Yep. As older sisters do.
As older sisters do. She still does. So
So do I.
24, 25, and 26 were more so about like learning the lessons, embracing who I was, or who I am rather, and actually like start figuring out who I am and like what do I want like with this life, and not like being in survival mode.
Right.
Like like life is so big.
So big.
And life is short, but life is also like really long. Like
So
everyone's
long.
like, life is short. Life is also
You have so many
long.
different iterations of yourself, as we'll
Yeah.
get into. Like, I think about past versions of myself, and I'm like, I don't even recognize that person or those feelings, or I can't even tap back into the mentality of someone who would do those things.
Same.
Like, what in God's name?
What in God's name?
But then it also gives me curiosity and confidence of what's to come next. Like, I truly just think it keeps getting better. I talk about this with my mom a lot because I love my 30s. Like, I can talk you off a ledge of your 30s. I think they are the fucking best. But then I also hear people say that 40s are the best decade ever.
wait,
and I remember,
why am I so excited for my 40s?
But you're not about your 30s?
Okay, wait. So I am.
Okay.
I am. So to finish off the decade, like 24, 25, 26, what do I like want with this big, great life? And then 27, 28, 29 are like, let's fucking do this. Like
Right.
feeling more confident in my own skin, in my own shoes, like just knowing that the possibilities are endless and like I can do whatever the fuck I want, and like not caring what other people think,
Yeah.
and just tuning out the noise and like being very selfish, but like in a positive way. And like now I am excited for my 30s. However, and we will definitely get into this, I think the thing that is like giving me agita and like makes me feel like I like have to fart or something, like it like
Never heard that one.
yeah, like
Okay.
it gives me like a little like tummy ache, like maybe
Yeah.
it's gas, I don't know. Is that the second I turn 30, I know that I'm going to start, because I'm already having these feelings like, oh my God, you have to have a baby right now.
Oh.
And I don't know, like I want a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want one. So like I see them in the elevator and I'm like, I will take you. Like you are mine now, you know?
You're coming
Like
home with
protect that baby, because like it's
Yeah.
kidnappable, like by me, you know?
Yes.
So I have the baby fever, but I'm also just like, oh my God, I feel like I'm in a rush. Like I'm scared to feel like I'm in a rush.
You're scared to feel like you're in a rush, or you feel, well, okay. I totally understand.
I feel safe right now because I'm still 29. So I keep saying I'm still 29.
Oh,
but I feel
like
like
you
the
don't have-
day
but-
after I turn 30,
okay.
I'm going to be like, oh my God.
First of all, I feel I had my first when I was 30. Yes, I believe so. COVID confused timing for me. So like that phase of my life was very confusing because I was pregnant and had my first in COVID. However, I feel like a young mom. I think when we grew up, it felt like everyone, 30, of course you're going to have a kid. That's
Yeah.
just not the reality in today's world, whether you're
Totally.
with a partner or not. So like all to say, 30 is not at all a point where you should feel like you have to. If you want to, amazing. But
Yeah.
I even feel when I'm dropping my kid off at school now, like I'm young.
Yeah. And I look
and
at my
maybe that's the
sister.
suburbs too.
Yes, totally. But also, like, I look at my sister and I'm like, oh my God, you're literally 15.
No.
You are 15.
I mean, I feel 15.
like, I can't believe you're you're a mom.
I can't believe I have
Like,
kids.
2 people call you mom.
No, it's weird.
No, it's
Weird.
Yeah.
There's so many TikToks about this, but it's like being at a park or picking up from school, whatever, and being like, oh my God, like, are people going to think I'm a teen mom? No, I'm 33. I am of normal age to have children. I even had this the other day with my husband. We were talking about something for his work, and he mentioned something, and I was like flabbergasted that we were of the age that he could have a role like that.
right.
Where I'm like, how did
Like,
we
oh my
get
God,
here?
you're important.
No, that's
Like-
and he was like almost offended, but he was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, no, but in my head, especially because we've been together since we were 16, in my head, we're 16 years old. Like that's how I feel with him specifically. But yeah, it's confusing. It's mind blowing. I can't believe I'm a mom. And what I will say to you and to anyone listening who's having the same feeling is like, don't rush into it. You can't undo it.
No, you can't.
It's beautiful, but it's chaotic as hell.
Totally. And I'm like, I feel like I know too much
Because of
because
your sister?
I am so up close and personal,
Yeah.
because me and
That's
my
how
sister are
Lucy
just like
feels.
up each other's assholes. Like it just is what it is.
Same.
And I just know too much to the point where I've like actually said to her, like, stop telling me stuff. Like, stop saying that to me. She'll be like, just wait. Like, you think you had a sleepless night? Like, just wait. I'm like, stop. You want me to have a baby so bad? Then shut your mouth. Like,
Yes. Lucy
Shut
and I
your
have the
mouth.
Same conversation. But no matter what, how much someone tries to prepare you,
you're not.
You're not.
You're just
You're never going to be, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Like that just has to be something that you're aware of, and that's totally fine. Because you'll also never be prepared for the love you will feel. Like the utter.
I know that's real.
You know what? You were an aunt before you'll be a mom, and I wasn't. So I think you will understand that a little bit more because I know I've had this conversation with my older sister because she was an aunt to my son before she became a mom, and I was a mom before I became an aunt. So like for her, my oldest was like so eye-opening and this new love that she had never experienced. And I love her son the same way she loves my son.
Yeah.
But it's different because I had my child and had my eyes open to that before he entered the world. Does that make sense?
No, that does make sense. And like that is the thing that it like makes me excited.
Of course.
Because I know what's possible.
Yeah.
And also like my sister is such a good mom, and her husband, like they've just like got it down. Like they like have fun with it. Like obviously like, you know, it's not perfect all the time,
but it's
but
fun.
like they're fun and like they have a good time and like they make it
I need
look
to hang out with your sister.
You're the same person.
Okay.
Like not to be weird, but like you guys are the same. Like if we go to dinner, it's just gonna be you two
I know,
talking
you
and
and Lucy on this
me
side.
and Lucy together. Like
Well, why do you think I sat Lucy next to you at the influencer dinner?
I love her so
or across from you.
I love her so much.
She loves you.
But I'm excited because I know what's possible. But I think the thing that, and this is very recent, this is as of like 3 weeks ago. I'm realizing how close I am to turning 30.
Yes.
And while I'm so excited, I still feel like there's so much more that I want to do. And the logical part of my brain knows that I can still do it like with kids.
But it's so different.
And also I'm like, I don't know, like we live in the city. A lot of our friends are like not married, just getting into relationships. Some are single. And it's like, I feel like we're going to be leaving stuff behind.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Even though we're literally going to move to Jersey. Like
but it's different.
30 minutes away. But it's different. And like, there's also part of me that's like, should I, and I never thought about this once, ever, before 3 weeks ago. I was like, should I potentially freeze my eggs just to have like a safety net? Because the date in my brain of like me getting pregnant like keeps just getting pushed out.
Yeah, but I think that's, I mean, look, I'm not a fucking doctor. Obviously, like, get some stuff checked. But also, like, I got stuff checked and they told me things and it wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So what I will say is, I think I'm going to be brutally honest. I think a lot of people are like, after they have kids, feel uncomfortable or refuse to admit that they miss their life before children because there's shame there's guilt. There's other people projecting their own stuff. And yes, it's such a blessing to have children. I will never take that for granted. Do I miss aspects of my life before? 110%.
I feel you have to.
Well, you have to. That's insane to like admit that to say that you don't. But there are parts of me that sometimes is like, wow, I wish maybe I had more time, specifically as someone working for ourselves. I wish I had more time to like fully dive in and fully give to that. And this is something that we talk a lot about, my husband and I, in terms of like when we were thinking about having our second. He was another surprise, so that didn't end up really mattering. But as we talk about potentially having a third, is like I'm not in a place where I want to give up a year of my life because that's what you're doing. It's as the human who's making a child.
Yeah.
Like you are pregnant for 9 months. That's actually being very minimal a year.
Yeah.
Like for me, it takes 9 months after having a baby to feel like a little bit of myself again.
Right.
So that's a year and a half.
Yeah.
Where your life is kind of on pause of what you would potentially want it to be.
Yeah. And like what you would normally be doing.
I get the desire to want to do more before you have a kid. And I don't think you necessarily need to fight that or rush it.
Yeah. It's like, I do need to get my ass into a doctor, but like finding a doctor is randomly so hard. Why?
Dude,
Why?
Being an adult.
No, like I want my mom to make my doctor's appointments. Like this is not what I signed up for.
You are Lucy.
Like this is crazy.
Lucy didn't go to the doctor for like 4 years.
No, same. Like I need a doctor. Like I need a doctor
Okay.
and I have to get my ass to a doctor and I need to like have a conversation. And I think then I will probably feel better because I'll stop like ruminating on my own thoughts. But like, I mean, I don't want to spend $20,000 to freeze my eggs, but like I will if it will give me options and peace of mind. Can I ask you this?
Of course.
Did you move to the suburbs?
After I had my first, he was a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
City life with one kid, a baby, fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 recommend.
Yeah.
I just knew I always wanted our children to grow up in the suburbs. and I didn't want to have a second in the city.
Yeah.
So like I wanted to be out personally, before my first was like a toddler.
Yeah.
Like I just had this vision where this is such a random thing, but like the idea of scootering on a New York City sidewalk for me.
No.
With intrusive thoughts.
Panic attack. No.
So like that was always the thing that I was like, I want to be in the suburbs by then.
Yeah.
But I lived here until I was 3 and my sister was 5.
In the city?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, your parents are cool like that.
They just moved back. They're fucking hip.
What?
Yeah.
What neighborhood?
Upper East Side. Sold our childhood home and we're like, peace. We're city livers now.
Wait, I'm obsessed
No, they're living
with
their
that.
best fucking life. My mom has youthed? Is that a word?
So do you see her all the time?
Yeah, she's at my house right now.
Wait,
She came over this morning. I called her. I had her on reserves yesterday because a sickness has hit our house and our nanny. And I was like, Mom,
it's constant.
I need you. Joe and I are both in the city today, please.
No, it's constant.
Yeah. Anyway, this is really, you said you listened to my Fibula episode. That title was 2 ADHD people having a podcast, but I think this is 2 ADHD people having a podcast.
We make that look like nothing.
Okay, but the commentary that I actually want to go into that ties into ADHD is you saying, like, getting a doctor. That's also part of, like, executive function that people with ADHD struggle with.
I know. It's so bad.
It's really hard.
Can I tell you something that's been pissing me off? Okay. I'm just going to rant for a second.
Go.
And if you need to cut this out because, like, people are going to get mad and it's going to be, like, rage bait, it's not fucking rage bait. It's my thoughts. I am so happy that the internet has become a place and a source of information for people to discover things about themselves and maybe put a label on it and a diagnosis on it, and then they're able to like change their lives because they understand parts of themselves. Okay. But I cannot handle the fact that I understand ADHD is extremely common, but I can't handle like every single person in the entire world, like people I know in real life who I see them like operate, like I know the ins and outs of their fucking brains.
Yeah.
Being like, my ADHD is so bad. And it's such a projection from me. Like I acknowledge that 100%.
Fair.
Because the way that an actual task, like calling a doctor and making a doctor's appointment and having to find all of the numbers on an insurance card will actually make me like start crying and debilitating, and I will literally do everything under the sun to avoid it. Like it's just like exhausting because just everyone thinks they have ADHD, and I get it. Like, but the reality is most of us are just distracted by our phones. Like you wanting to scroll on TikTok is not ADHD. Like,
yes,
I'm so sorry.
This is so funny you're saying this because part of me has to wonder if my little sister thinks this about me. Because I have like high functioning anxiety and ADHD. So I seem very put together from the outside.
Yeah, but we've had in-depth conversations, and you do a really good job also of explaining how it like makes you feel.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah,
I mean, I've had a diagnosis since I was young. But then also when I talked about it with my mom and Lucy, when I recently got re-diagnosed and just started medication, my mom's like, I don't remember you ever being diagnosed as a kid. And I was like,
that's like selective.
Because Lucy was diagnosed and medicated.
Yeah.
But I was like, Mom, we literally went to the thing, and I remember leaving and her being like, I would have answered the same way.
And it's like the weird computer.
Yes, and like all of these things, and I tried medication, didn't like it. So I'm like, how have you completely forgotten about this? I had extended time. I never really used it, but I had it. Anyway, mine is more of the constant hamster wheel in my brain of things, and really what it is. Pre-medication was feeling like there were 10,000 tabs open in my brain and I wasn't able to control when they were switching. I have some executive functioning struggles, but I'm selective. I'm able to like bang things out when it comes to executive functioning, and my calendar is my fucking Bible. But then there will be one task, like I talk about it in the ADHD episode. There's this sticker in our garage that I'm supposed to take off from the window, but like the idea of getting a scraper thing or Goo Gone and the hair dryer out there, it's just, I'm not going to do it.
No.
And it's never getting done.
No, I've never said this before, and Andy's like gonna freak out that I'm even admitting this, but like I have to tell someone. I have to.
Tell me.
Some of my friends have seen it go down. Like, okay, if I am unloading or like loading the dishwasher and there's like Tupperware, okay?
Yeah.
Or let's say like a mug. Like sometimes I like to like melt chocolate with like a little bit of like coconut oil, and I like eat it like a soup. Weird.
Yes. We'll pour it over your ice cream and it'll get hard like a magic shell.
Yes, correct. If it's in the sink and no one's around, I will just take the mug or the Tupperware that has the stuff
throw it
in
out?
it and throw it in the garbage. Like, and Andy's like, now he looks in the garbage to be like, what the fuck? Why are you getting, why?
So I'm not like that with those things.
That's just like a random
My
example.
kids' toys.
Ooh.
There's like a random piece of a toy, and I don't know where the rest of it is.
Peace.
Bye.
Oh, say, yeah.
Goodbye.
A cord, like, bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
There is nothing I love more than purging.
Yeah.
And I think that's an
Same.
ADHD. Oh my God.
It's like
I go through my closet sometimes and I'm like, get the whole fucking thing out of here.
No, I do it weekly. It's actually
No, I just dropped off 3 bags at our local church, sold like 20 items on Poshmark, and gave away like 20 on my close friends or subscribers.
It's becoming actually like financially bad for
but
me.
do you think it's because, for me, ADHD makes me feel so out of control with certain things?
Mm-hmm.
Also, the way we're sitting is very ADHD, I will have you know.
Literally.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wait, we talked about Melissa with health before this. Like, I think about her every day, and I actually have to tell her this. Whenever I'm on a plane or something, because I sit like a child, I'm like, I can't sit like a normal human. That's insane to me, to sit and have my legs on the ground. So I sit like this on a plane. I sit here, I buckle my feet. Have you ever done that?
No, I don't buckle my feet. But
So
in my
you
plane,
sit like
the plane, I
this?
put my feet in the
No, this is going to change your life.
armrest thingy.
This is going to change your life. I do too. And then I wonder, is that rude to the person in front of me?
Well, not the armrest. I put it in the little pocket.
Okay, well, like I'll put it on the back of the armrest, but I'm like, that could potentially get in their way.
Yeah.
You sit like this and you take the buckle and you buckle around your feet so it keeps your legs.
Because How did you even think of that?
A TikTok. A TikToky.
Like, what would we do without
What
it?
would we do without TikTok? Because the issue is on an airplane, there's not enough room for your feet to comfortably sit like this, so they're constantly slipping off. So then you're constantly trying to keep your legs there.
I feel
you
like
buckle
you're
them.
really educated on ADHD, and maybe like I would feel better if I educated myself more on it, because like knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
Which, by the way, I just want to circle back to the
Wait,
thing
I
I
also
said.
to finish the thing about Melissa.
We will
get through this episode.
We will do this, and we will finish one complete thought. But what I want to say about the thing that, like, when I get frustrated with everyone saying that they have ADHD, is it's such a projection, because I look at these, like, not you,
I don't care.
obviously,
Yes.
but I'm going to use you as an
for
example.
it.
Like, I'm like, she gets so much done. Like, she's so organized, like her calendars, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like so envious of their like normal abilities to function in the ways that I can't. And so I just am like, you don't have ADHD,
Fair,
and I just
totally
get like
fair.
mad. Like, mine is work. Like,
Well,
you
do
know?
you want to know what I think it is? It's a little bit of suffering Olympics of like, well,
no.
mine's worse.
Yeah, for sure.
B, for me, it's a lot of, I wasn't medicated for so long. So these were tools that I've worked on with teachers or therapists on how to live life and cope with ADHD.
Yeah, you've done the work.
But then also, back to the Melissa Wood health thing.
Okay, we're gonna
I think about this in the sense of, this is going even back. We're going to fucking land this plane and circle around. Feeling like a child because of my ADHD. Certain times, like the way I sit or can't sit still, or I'm like fidgeting or whatever, I feel it's very quote unquote childlike behavior. So when I sit on a plane, and I've talked about this, and like the 10,000 things, I'm going from my phone, I'm going to my laptop, I'm going to my Kindle, I'm going to something, whatever, and I'm moving my legs around, and I'm sitting like a kid. I'm always thinking, what would it be like to see Melissa on a plane, because there's zero fucking chance she's dressed like me and sitting like me, because in my mind she's like an adult.
She's an adult.
And so
She's our role model.
that's where it comes from, my full circle moment of being like, how do I have children? How am I responsible?
No, and this is where my fear comes
I
from.
feel so confident and natural in my mothering ability, but I think so much of that stems from feeling like a child still. So like when I talk to my toddler, I treat him like he's my friend.
Yeah.
And
Like, that's your homie.
No, my best friend.
That's your colleague. Like, that's your peer.
I mean, when I'm home, he's my brother. When my
Yeah.
mom's there, I'm like, who the fuck is this kid? Like,
Yeah,
is someone
like,
going to
who
look after
knows
him? And
him?
Lucy's like, that's your child.
Right.
Like, go stop him from doing this
That's
annoying
gonna be
thing.
me. That is gonna be
But
me.
it also has allowed me to understand his emotions better, because he's behaving the way that I want to behave.
Yeah.
I want to throw a tantrum.
Same.
I want to freak the fuck out. I want to yell and
Constantly.
scream and tell someone I hate them when they bother me.
For sure.
So like,
It's relatable.
no, I'm like, I have sympathy for what you're going through.
This is a good like perspective shift for me. Like, I'm feeling less afraid and more so like, oh, like we're gonna vibe, because like
No.
I am you.
Truly.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I fucking
Yeah.
get it.
But it's
I
why
get
I
it.
didn't like thrive in a corporate space. Like, I was always
Right.
I was always the personality hire, like in general. Like, it's a miracle that I worked like at
Okay.
like, establishments like Salesforce. Like it's truly mind-boggling. But I felt so uncomfortable in corporate spaces because of my inability to like do.
But were you in sales?
Very basic things. No. Oh my God. No. Marketing.
Okay.
Thank God.
Well, no, I was going to say you'd be really good at it because I think we connect with people really well.
I did.
I mean, I
was an
say
SDR
that all the time about my job.
For 3 months. It was my first corporate job out of college. And I would be like on the phone with someone and I'd be like, you're right, Susan. Like, you don't need this. Like, let's get coffee. Like, and then my manager was like, you can't tell people that they don't need it. And I think you're better suited for marketing.
Fair. So fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Way back to the decades, we talked about, or not the decades, but the periods within your 20s. You talked about like you're falling apart and life falling apart and pulling your pieces back together. Yeah. Was your 20 when your past boyfriend passed away?
Yes. So I'm trying to do the math. It was in January of 2016, so I was 20, about to turn 21. Like,
so you were in college?
The next March, yes. I was in Boulder. And, yeah, like, that was kind of like when I think about my life, it's like before and after. Before and after. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And, yeah, just, like, rocked my fucking world. Like, I was not in any way prepared for that. It was like the thing that would shape the rest of my life. And like, it's weird to say this because like, I don't want there to be any misconception that I am in any way, like, please that this happen. Cause I would do anything for that to have not happened. But like, in a way it's like, I understand why it had to happen in my life's story and for my life's purpose, like for me to see the world the way that I see it now. And I understand why people, like, not to say like I'm special or anything like that, but like I understand how there are people who don't see the world the way that I see it because like they didn't go through something that everyone goes through shit. But like when I was 20, like my world got fucking rocked and that doesn't happen to people at 20 for the most part.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think it's a unique experience. However, I think that you speak on it in such a way that people can resonate with. And I think people who have experienced it, the few unfortunate group, can feel very seen.
Yeah.
So if you're comfortable, I would like to talk about it.
Yeah, no, we can talk about it.
How long were you guys together before he passed?
So we started dating in February of, what was it? 2014. So he passed away in January of 2016. So it was just about 2 years. We were technically on a break when he passed away. We had like some codependency, like issues. We had been through a lot of shit together over the last like year that we were together, and some really heavy stuff happened in his life. One of his friends passed away and he was the one who found him.
Oh my God.
And that's like actually what like accelerated the seriousness of our relationship because like he was going through all of this trauma and like we went from like, you know, like being together to like really being together, and it kind of like made it this like a more adult relationship than like a normal just like college fling, you know what I mean? And yeah, so we were together for a while. We decided to take a break. Things were getting like really codependent, kind of toxic. And during winter break, we decided to not talk. And then during winter break is when he passed away. And it was like a very sudden, tragic freak accident. And it's actually, I think I've said this before, but it's really weird because the day that he passed away, I'm like a weird like woo-woo, like things happen in threes. Yeah. So that morning, it was January 3rd. I'll never forget it. I was like on the couch, hungover with a bunch of my guy friends. We were like really high, to be totally honest with you. And we got a text that one of like a kid we were friends with in high school had overdosed and died. God.
Separately, okay.
Yeah, like in New Jersey.
Yep.
Like I hadn't talked to Pat. He was like, you know, in Chicago. And so I got this text that this kid that I knew well from high school had overdosed. I was like, what the fuck? Like, after that moment, like, in the years to come, like, I would know, unfortunately, so many young people to die either in, like, freak accidents or mainly, like, accidental overdoses. But so that was, like the first time that we were like, oh, my God, like, someone we really know. Like, like, died. Like, this is really real. And then a few hours later, one of my guy friends, who was still at my house, just hanging out, got a call that his grandpa had died.
Oh, my goodness.
And I had this weird, like, gut instinct feeling. And, like, because we hadn't been talking, I texted him and I was like, hey, like, I know we're not talking right now, but, like, I'm just really grateful that you're, like, something along the lines of, like, I'm grateful that you're, like, healthy and happy and, like, alive. I said the word alive.
I'm so sorry.
And, like, I'm looking forward to, like, talking when we're back. I think I said also, like, I'm sorry because I was, like, being such a bitch in the last couple of weeks before when we weren't talking. And he never answered, which I thought was weird. I was like, that's kind of rude of you to not answer. And then I got a phone call at, like, what was it, like 3 p.m. from one of our, like, mutual friends who went to Boulder, but also was, like, from his hometown, and was like, I could hear her, like, voice, like, kind of, like, worried, and she was like, hey, like super random, like, have you heard from him? Like we're kind of, like, looking for him, and I immediately, like, knew something was very, very, very wrong.
Yeah.
And then she explained to me, like, the situation of, like, what was going on, and then, like, 30 minutes later, I got a call from his best friend, who was also my best friend, and he, like, was like, he's gone, like, he's dead. And I was like, blackout. Like, I think I threw everything in my room. One of my guy friends was there with me at the time, thank God, because, like, if I was alone, I don't know what would have happened. But, like, it's crazy when something like that happens. Yeah. Like, the level of
rage,
like, it's like I actually, like, physically, like, can't remember the like, days following. Well, also, like, because I was very addicted to Xanax and taking so much Xanax to survive. All I remember is sitting in my house with my friends who came to see me in my mom's mink coat, smoking cigarettes in my living room. And that's about it.
Everyone copes in their own ways.
Totally.
I'm very sorry.
Thank you.
Truly, very sorry. I don't like to say I cannot imagine experiencing that, but that's something really fucking heavy.
It is so weird through. That I just, like, I'm having, like, an out-of-body experience after just, like, sharing that, because, like, sometimes when I actually say it out loud to someone, and, like, I didn't even, like, go into, like, the full details of the story, but, like, I feel like I'm telling a story, like, about, like, someone else.
Well, I think that's a trauma response.
Like, sometimes I'm like, am I, like, lying? Like, did this even really happen? You know what I mean?
I feel that way about other things in my life that have tragically happened.
Like, it's crazy.
I've had 2 big tragic losses that were generation above me, but, like, deeply impacted my family. So in a very different experience than what you went through. But
loss is loss.
When recounting it and recalling it, you almost have to remove yourself to be able to get through the story and to explain it. And I think as time goes on, the more you do that, the more I have the same experience you're saying of, like, was that what happened? That seems too crazy to be
I almost, like, second guessed myself right after I said, like, I was pausing a lot because I'm like, I haven't, like, told the story.
Well, it's also like, there's no way that happened.
No, like, sometimes I'm like, that can't be real. But that is literally what happened. Like, it's so crazy.
What was that grief process like for you? Because I actually brought up this, I was talking about this with my husband, I think because of a recent TikTok you had posted that just really resonated with me, and I couldn't stop thinking about it, where I imagine, not to project my own emotions, but I imagine it would be really confusing to lose someone that you love and grapple with that future love for someone else. Because, you know, we think about exes, but he's not an ex. And so it's people have relationships with their exes in many different ways, but it's like there's a reason that they broke up. Someone hurt someone, or you weren't right for each other, and you can move past that. But I would imagine it would be really confusing when in future relationships being like, but I still love him.
Yeah.
That wasn't that wasn't up to me to choose.
Yeah.
Is that a projection, or
No,
do you resonate?
it's so interesting that you bring this up because I literally just posted a TikTok this morning because someone
Haven't been on this morning, so we're kismet.
good for you, girl.
Thanks.
Good for you. Stay off the talk, honestly. Just create, like, don't consume.
I commuted, that's why.
But someone, like, I've been talking about signs that he sends me because I get, like, crazy signs.
Can you tell us?
Yes. Someone commented, like, what does Andy make of all of this?
Yes, that was one of my questions of like what his thought process around it all has been, or furthermore, how he supports you through this. Because it's not something that you just get over.
No.
I think it's a lifelong journey.
No, you live with it. Yeah. So I didn't okay, well, this is kind of important context, but I had a really weird, but now that I am like older and have talked to more like people about it, like experts and psychiatrists and whatever, weird response to him passing away. But again, now it makes sense. I went back to school right after, and I, for whatever reason, and have you ever seen Silver Linings Playbook?
Duh, it's one of my favorite movies.
It's literally my favorite movie, and it made me feel so seen and less alone because you know how Jennifer Lawrence, like, her fiance dies, and then she, like, gets, like, fired from her job because she, like, has sex with everyone in the office? Similar vibes.
Okay.
I was, like, trying to fill a void.
Of course.
Got back to school, was hooking up with literally everyone and their mother, trying to feel something, literally dying to feel anything.
Well, you're just seeking emotion.
Seeking. And everyone was talking about it. Like, everyone was like, she's upset. Like, she's like, it's basically alluding to the fact that, like, I am being performatively, like, upset and grieving because, like, my actions were contradicting my grief. Like, I was hooking up with people. So it's like,
well, if you're hooking up with someone, you can't be upset, which is so
right,
not
and like
true.
when you're 20 and you're like a group of girls in a sorority, of course you're going to be like, what's wrong with that girl whose boyfriend just died having sex with everyone? Like, what is her deal? So that was my response. Is I was like dying to feel anything, doing so many drugs. Granted, I was doing drugs before he passed away,
which
but, like,
we'll get into.
It just amped everything up. Having sex with everyone, just like completely fucking spiraling, and I'm like so grateful that now I'm like not ashamed of it anymore, but like I was so like embarrassed and like icked out by myself for having that response, because once I like got out of the haze of the grief, I realized like how it was being perceived, and I was like, his family, like his friends, like what must all of them have thought of me and that kind of fucking behavior, and I was so ashamed of it. I've forgiven myself now, which is another very important part of your 20s, is to forgive yourself for the things that you've done, because you don't know what you don't know and you have to grow up somehow. But to answer your question about like the, you know, how you evolve in relationships while also still like having these complicated feelings for someone who's no longer here. I was just posting about this. I always knew that if I was going to be with someone forever, which for a long time I questioned whether or not that was even possible, they would like the non-negotiable would be that they would have to be okay, not just okay, but like embrace the fact that I will always love someone who is no longer here. Yeah. There can't be like a weird competitive energy. Right. It's like, what are you competing with? He's literally dead. Like,
there's not a competition.
He's not, like, I can't call him up.
Right.
We can't just call him up. So I was like, okay, there can't be that. And they need to like fully embrace him, fully embrace like my love for him, and that like I will always talk about him. He will always be relevant to me. Like, I'll always, like, if I see a sign, like, I'll want you to, you know, like share that same like excitement with me. And I'm so grateful for Andy because he like is the perfect person for this. And I didn't really like date like people really in between. Like, I had like casual flings and stuff, and like, again, like I said, I was, you know, sleeping around,
making the rounds,
making my fucking rounds. But Andy was the first person I ever went on like a stranger date with. Like,
how'd you guys meet?
We met on Hinge. He was my first and only Hinge date.
Oh my God. Wow. What a win.
I had just moved to San Francisco.
The universe had your back.
No, really, for real. His mom passed away like a year before we met. And I like have this theory that like
they did it.
Like they like met up in heaven and they were like, oh my God, like we should set these two up. Mm-hmm. And I remember my sister calling me on the way to the date and was like, maybe we could wait till like date 3 to like tell him about Pat. Like maybe we just like hold off. And I was like, yeah, for sure. Hang up. He's like, have you been in any serious relationships before? And I was like, yeah. He was like, oh my God, like what's like that face? Like did he like do something bad? And I'm like, no, like he died. And he was like, what?
Right.
What?
Like how does one respond?
But like had like all these questions and was like interested, and just from the get-go was like I could just tell his energy was like, this will not even like it wasn't going to be an issue.
Right.
And as time has gone on, like I've just seen that more and more from him. Like every year on, you know, the anniversary of his passing or his birthday, like he'll get me flowers. Like he holds space for me to
It's really sweet.
cry over him. Like he actually met his sister once, and that was like literally the best moment of my whole life. And this is the story that I told on TikTok because I think it literally says everything that you need to know about how Andy handles this. For our wedding, we opted to not do a first dance because I was just like, I do not want to stand in a circle of people and dance. So we did
fucking valid.
Yeah, so we did a private last dance. And no one was in the room. It was just like the DJ and my wedding planner. And my wedding planner was taking a video. I'm so glad she did. In the middle of the dance, he looks at me and he's like, let's never stop talking about him. And I'm on cloud 9, and I'm also I'm a little tipsy because I like drank at my wedding, and I'm like, I was like, who? And
no, I'm actually crying.
No,
right now.
I know it's like so hard for me to not cry when telling it. And he like goes, Pat, and I literally like start like ugly sobbing.
Of course,
there's photos of us like just like being ugly. You know what I mean?
I'm really sorry that I'm crying right now. I don't know why that caught me.
It's okay. I have to stop myself from
of course,
crying every time
like
I talk about it. But like, that's like the easiest way to answer like how perfect this person is. I mean, I have notes for Andy like in other categories of life. Like,
duh, we all do.
You know? But in this area, like I just...
Isn't it so great when like your partner does something like that where you're like, I'm just so proud to be with you. This is so fucking separate. But like this morning, my uncle passed, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. Oh my God. And
I'm so sorry.
My cousin, I don't know, like, why am I a basket case right now? Your story really got me.
No, it's a tearjerker. And I've actually, like, I never told it before literally this morning when I made that TikTok.
Okay.
So,
well, my cousin, this morning I texted her. It was her stepdad. So I texted my cousin this morning to check in on her. And I was just like, hey, I just want to check in. Like, how are you doing? And she was like, I'm good. Like, I was just catching up with Joe yesterday. And I was like, what do you mean you were
You're like,
what?
Joe? My Joe?
I was like, why were you
like,
catching
Joe
up with
reached
Joe?
out?
Did you have like questions about insurance? I'm like, no, like I literally was like, what? And obviously they're close. Joe's been in my life forever.
But
she's like my pseudo sister.
You get so proud. You're like,
but those moments where I'm like, what?
Yeah,
I was like, why were you catching up with Joe? And she was like, oh, he just texted me to like check in and see how I was doing. And I texted Joe and I was like, did you talk to Kelly yesterday? Because this was this morning and he had already left for the city. And I was like, did you talk to Kelly yesterday? And
wait, you have a cousin? Her name's Kelly?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Love.
You would love her.
Yeah.
She's so fun. And he was like, yeah, I just wanted to like make sure she was all right and see how everything's going. And I was like, not the same, but it was one of those moments where I was like, I love you so much. Like, I'm just so proud to know you and your growth as a human.
And you remember, like, you are the person that, like, that I chose.
Right. I'm like,
and that's why.
I'm proud to know you.
Like, unfortunately, like, just there are so many people out there, like, men in particular, who, like, they don't do things out of their own, like, will. Like, their wife will be like, text them and check in on them.
Right.
You know?
Especially that. Look, I think, having been with someone for so long, it's been such a gift to watch him evolve. He was not always this person, but I think he's the best version of himself now. And
same with Andy.
Yeah, it's those moments where I'm like,
I'm proud of you.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
And like that means a lot. It meant a lot to me because it's not like, sure, he checks in on his friends, but like that's my You've mentioned drugs.
My favorite pastime.
So I feel that we are the same in so many ways, but we went different paths. Like the non-GIF I sent you. GIF? Is that how you say it? Whatever. That I sent you yesterday, which I don't think you responded to.
Wait,
I thought was funny.
I don't use GIFs, and I need to start. So
I'm
like
so
when people send them to me, like I get like a little startled.
Oh, I use them all the time. Is that a millennial thing?
Probably.
Do you use GIFs, Alexa? Okay.
I am.
Stickers.
I just want to clarify. Like
What the
I
fuck
am
stickers
a
do you
millennial.
have? Okay, sorry, but you're like a
I just like
millennial.
I'm scared of like Gen. Like I can't be Gen
But you're
Z
more
'cause I'm
Gen
scared of
Z
them.
than okay. Well, anyway, I
I'm a
use
hybrid.
GIFs all the time, and I thought it was a funny use because we were talking about drugs, and
You were like, "Can we talk about the drugs?" I was like, "Of course."
right. But then what I said was, we are so similar but choosing different paths because I was told by my mom, who loved cocaine, never do cocaine. You will love it and become addicted. And she like. I don't think she ever said that to either of my other sisters. I think she just knew that we were the same in so many ways in that avenue where she was like, this will be everything you want. Don't do it.
I think I was told that too, and then didn't listen because that's so me.
So fair.
Yeah.
And I like almost went the opposite route where like when people did coke around me, I was like, oh my fucking God, are you kidding me?
You were like, "Ew."
Like, you guys are fucking losers.
Yeah.
Like, I was that bitch that was like, they're in the room doing coke. Like, annoying.
Like, fuck them.
I will, like, so many fights. with
Losers,
people.
L7 weenies.
But,
yeah.
like, would I take
But, like, good for
Adderall
you.
and, like, crush it up and put it in my gums? Yeah. So, like, was I much better than anyone?
Which
No.
is, like, crazy to put it in your gums. Like,
I had a weird thing about snorting.
I
don't
would
know.
literally snort anything if you gave it to me.
Okay. So, I don't know why that was, like, that's where I drew the line.
Yeah.
And cigarettes never have touched one in my entire life.
I cannot relate
My
to
precious
this.
fucking lungs, although not really because of joints, but precious lungs from tobacco because my mom, again, sorry mom, but like she was a social smoker and my room used to be above, like look out into our backyard. And so I'd see her and her friends smoking when they'd come over and like have like mom's night or whatever. And I would open the window and be like, I hope you fucking die. You're killing yourself and I'm not going to your funeral. So like there is truly
You get mad,
nothing as
rage.
unattractive in my eyes, I'm sorry, as smoking a cigarette.
No, I'm so envious of you because to this day, the deepest of all of my addictions
Is cigarettes?
just nicotine in general.
Oh.
Like,
Are you a jeweler?
okay, so
Is that a word?
This was my pipeline. Okay, so I'll start with drugs.
Yeah, like how did you get into drugs? And what did that look like?
Okay, so high school, huge stoner. Like I'm talking, this is like when Facebook was really like popping off.
Okay. 'Cause you're
And
5 years. Yeah.
My principal of my high school over the 4 years had a folder with
Right.
my name on it
Of all of the things.
of every photo of me, like 3 blunts in my mouth, like not okay.
Yeah.
Not okay. So I was just like a huge.
What initially led you into weed? Do you remember?
No, I think like I was always like trying to like escape something. Like I love my parents, like they're amazing and I love them. But I definitely had like a rocky childhood in a lot of ways. And I think I was just also like quintessential youngest child, like problem child vibes. Like early on the signs were there, you know? So even though I was like in sports in high school and stuff, like I was just always the party girl. And because my siblings are older, like
Wait, you have multiple siblings?
yeah, I have an older brother who is
Didn't know that.
18 months older than Morgan,
Okay.
Billy. So it's Billy, Morgan, me.
Okay.
And by the time I got to high school, Morgan was off to college, Billy was off to college, and it was just like me and my mom in this big house. Like my parents were on and off for like my whole childhood. And like my house became the party house, and like I was a huge party girl, and it was just like that was the vibe. So it like was immediately like binge drinking, smoking so much weed. Like sophomore year, end of sophomore year is when I like actually became like a huge pothead. Like freshman year, I was like kind of still like,
Yeah.
I was trying to take that approach of like, it's not cool, like clean, like we're clean, good girls, you know? And then things took like a very different turn. So huge pothead, huge party girl. Drinking was always an evident problem since inception. Like obviously in high school, you don't know what you're doing when you're drinking,
Right.
right? But I had friends who drank and they would drink too much and like they would just like throw up or like be like asleep in the corner. I was berating people.
Oh, like you got ugly?
Ugly. Oh, I'm also an Aries. You've never
means
seen
nothing to
anything
me.
like it. Like if you're watching this, like you've probably, and you went to my high school, you've been bitched out by me. Like
Okay.
it was horrible. Like it was always problematic.
Look,
It was
I relate
rarely
to
ever
you
fun.
in that way.
What?
I relate to you in that way.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't necessarily drinking induced. I just was a bitch. More so, I just really had strong opinions and I said what was on my mind and I took no shit for anyone. I took no shit from anyone who was giving shit to me or to anyone I love.
I think I can relate to that, and there's like truth
And then
in
it
that
got
too
worse
for
with
me.
alcohol.
But also, like if I was drunk and you were in my path unprovoked, if you even looked at
Okay.
me a little fucking weird,
Yeah. You're
you were
gone.
my enemy.
Okay.
And you did not want to be in my path. It was bad.
Okay.
So drinking was always a problem. Weed became a problem because like I was just doing it all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking like a 9 a.m. like wake and bake
Okay.
on a school day, like in school, like reeking of weed. So much so that
What the fuck were your teachers doing?
Oh, my math teacher senior year of high school told me my brain was flooded with bong water in front of the whole class.
Oh.
So that's what my teachers were
How
doing.
big was your school?
I don't even know actually.
What? How do you know?
I don't know.
that?
But because I was
Like
I was
100 kids a grade, 400 kids a grade.
probably like 200 kids
Okay.
a grade because
Okay.
it was 4 towns under one high school.
I would venture that it might be more. Whatever.
Yeah, wow. I like
No, I'm just wondering, like, because I went to a very small school and, like, none of that would have.
I was under a microscope, like
Flown.
for sure.
Okay.
Like also like it was like there were like not like security guards, but like ex cops who like worked at our high school, like make sure like everything was like simpatico.
Yeah.
And like I would like they knew I was a problem. Like when I would come back from my free periods, like it was definitely like trying to sniff something
But,
out.
like, we would have been kicked out of class.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Okay.
I wasn't, but I did have like a lot. I just had a lot of issues with my high
What did your
school.
mom say about this?
My mom was also like, I have so much grace for her because like people always actually ask me this, and like she was going through such a tough
Right.
time herself. Like she was like going through a divorce, like probably like menopause and like all these things. Like her
Yeah.
2 kids like in college, like so many things were going on for her. So it's not that she like wasn't there because she was, and she was like absolutely doing her best. But like I just don't know if she like had the capacity to like
Fair.
and or another parent to really like
Figure out what the. Yeah.
figure out
Yeah,
what
yeah.
the fuck to do. So I like figured out high school. I was okay. Like it was like just graduate, like survive. You know what I mean? But the drinking, always a problem. The weed was like just you're getting dumber. So then I got accepted to Boulder.
Which is a big party school now.
Huge.
Okay.
And it was also the year that weed was legalized.
Oh,
I
fun
was like,
for you.
Let's fucking go. There's no more perfect place for me in the entire world than University of Colorado. Let's go. So I go to Boulder. Boulder is a very special place. Like it is an amazing place, but it is also a little dark. And
Okay.
everyone I talk to,
I kind of feel that way about Colorado.
yeah, everyone I talk to who went to school there has the same sentiment as me. This isn't like a universal thing, just everyone I've talked to, because you have access to like every school, like all these schools are party schools, right? Like Michigan,
Yeah.
Indiana, whatever. But those schools are also places where like if you fail out, like you're a loser. Like that's embarrassing. Like you don't want to do that. Like there's like a work hard, play hard mentality,
totally.
like kind of balance. Whereas like Boulder, it was very normal for people to like fail out and just go to the community college in Boulder and like
And, like,
stay,
still stay
and
in
they're
the
like
scene.
in the
Okay, yes. I feel no hate, no shade to Colorado. I fucking love it there.
no,
But I
get it.
feel like it's a very unique place.
Mhm.
Very unique.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because there are also a lot of treatment facilities there. So certain, like, I don't know what it is.
There's just a lot of access to drugs.
Yeah,
in
maybe
general.
that's what it is.
So you can have anything. You put like a bunch of kids who like are fresh out of high school in this playground. It's the most, also like literally
So
the most
beautiful.
beautiful place on earth. Like Boulder is a postcard.
Mm-hmm.
And most people who go there are from out of state and like come from like wealthier, privileged backgrounds. And like you can just have anything you want. Like I remember my first like frat party. And it was like a cool frat. It wasn't like a weird frat. It was like a cool frat. I went to a frat party, like had so much fun, walked into a bathroom. There were 3 kids with a belt
Shut the fuck
around their arm, literally shooting up heroin in the bathroom.
What?
Swear to God. Hand on the Bible. Like, that's the kind of shit I'm talking about.
Okay.
And
couldn't relate less.
yeah. And it's funny because I was reflecting on this after you texted me last night. When
Yeah.
you're, like, when, you know, you're like, are we cool to talk about this? In the moment, like in Boulder, when I started, like we did blow every time we went out, like then like I got introduced to Xanax, and like Xanax was literally my heart and soul. Like Xanax was more the problem.
When were you doing Xanax? Like all hours of the day? But like you were going out?
So it's a complicated answer. Like I would take it like after class, or sometimes like for class if I was hungover, or like there were some nights, and this is where like things got really like tricky.
Yeah.
Because we didn't go out. Like everyone was just like, there was cocaine everywhere all the time. It was like bringing a handle like to a pregame. Do you know what I mean? So in the moment, like there was no one else like looking around me being like, you're addicted to drugs. Everyone was addicted to drugs. Like, actually, I do have to say this, like my roommates in college, like they weren't like that. Like I think I started out like freshman and sophomore year with like a particular crowd, like those things were more normalized. But when I like met like my back half college group of friends, like that was like not really their thing. And kind of actually how like my sister and like my parents like got involved to be like, they realized like, hey, something's like not right. This isn't like normal behavior. But yeah, so it was just very standard to like be doing blow all the time. But then I have a very addictive personality. So like,
as do I.
The second I try something, I'm like, I fucking love it. Like the second I smoked a cigarette, I was like, I need another. And then and it was when I was drunk, and then I wanted it sober. And same with cocaine. Like everyone was just doing it out, and then I wanted to be doing it
when you woke up
at the library, like alone, studying, like that sort of thing. So but that's also just like my personality type.
Same, which is why my mom said that to me, because that is my personality type.
And you're really smart for following the instructions. Like I'm sure someone said that to me, and I was just like in one ear out the other.
Yeah.
But
it's all part of our journey.
Yeah. But like the Xanax became like the biggest problem.
Okay.
And I'll explain why. So there would be some nights where I'd be like, I'm staying in tonight. I took half a bar. Like, I'm going to sleep. And then someone would convince me to go out, and I would do a bunch of cocaine and then like drink a bunch. And then I would literally get home and get into my bed and be like, oh my God, am I going to die? And I remember so many times like more than 10 times was in this exact position and was in my bed, like, God. And especially after my boyfriend passed away, I would like say
this is after, I
forgot.
Like,
oh, it got way worse after. But I would say like, God, I know this is really bad, and like I did a bunch of things that like could honestly kill me. And like if I go to sleep, like if I wake up, I promise I won't ever do it again. And then I would do it again.
Yeah.
But like I was acknowledging like, oh, what?
I fucked up.
Uppers, downers, all the things. Like that's not.
So what changed?
Well, a few things happened. So, first of all, like my roommates like got like my sister, like it became like aware, especially after he died, that there was just a little bit more of a microscope on like how is Kelly doing, and like my mental health was like not good, and then the drugs were not making it any better. I was self-medicating a lot, and it definitely just like was worse after his passing. But then a little thing called fentanyl entered.
That's what I was going to ask you about.
And Boulder was actually the first place that I ever heard of the word fentanyl.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I graduated in 2017. Like I would go home like in the summers, because it was like really like 2016, 2017, where like people in Boulder started dying from fentanyl, and they didn't know that they were taking it. It was like laced in mostly Xanax or like opiates.
Okay.
They thought that they were taking, and then fentanyl was in it. And no one else outside of Boulder like knew. Everyone was like, what the fuck is that? Like it was like unheard of. And then 2 years later, in like 2019, it started to be like on the news, becoming more real.
Right.
Like people were talking about it all over the country, not just in Boulder. But in Boulder, it was becoming a serious fucking problem.
Huge.
Like a lot, like I know a lot of people who died from taking something and not knowing that there was fentanyl in it. So that freaked me out. There were people I loved that also like went to rehab for Xanax, and then that also freaked me out. And I just, by the grace of God, like snapped the fuck out of it. It was also sort of like a come to Jesus moment that I had after like something happened with one of like my very good friends, like, and they ended up going to rehab. That like, I was like, I maybe potentially played a role in this person becoming addicted to this. And like, this is like where I'm headed. Right. And like my sister being like, it's like you stop or you go to, like my sister played a very instrumental role in me like snapping the fuck out of it, which I'm very lucky I was able to without help.
What is your relationship like now with alcohol? Because I know we both don't. Well, do you say you don't drink?
I don't drink.
Okay.
I'm like so out on it. I'm so out on it.
So out on it. But where did that stem from? Was it part of this like addiction, or was it just like, I don't like the way I feel and I don't need this?
So like I said, it was always like a problem. Like it was rare for me to just go out, like get drunk and like nothing bad happen. Like, or like me not get in a fight with someone, me not do something like really like out of control.
Yeah.
Like since day one. And I never drank socially. Like I would never like go to dinner and have a drink. Like
you would drink to get drunk.
I would drink to get so fucked up.
Okay.
So a few
There's
things.
Such a difference in people.
Such a difference. So a few pivotal things happened. One, October of 2019, me and Andy were like 6 months into our relationship or something around that time frame. And he went on a boys trip. I was like freaking out, like anxious, like kind of reverted back to like some of like my old habits, like when my college boyfriend would go out and I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing out without me? And then I'd like go and like be competitive and like get blacked out and be like, well, I'm blacked out too and I'm out now having fun. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Insane behavior. Okay. And now, but I'm 24 and I'm with potentially my husband, who is my husband now. And I did that and I got so fucked up. He was on his boys trip. I was texting him the most insane shit you've ever seen in your life. If anyone saw what I was saying to him, I would be in jail. He came back from the trip. He was like, look, I love you. I see this going somewhere long term. I will forgive you, but if you pull that shit again, I'm Audi 5000. Like, that is not going to fucking fly. And I sat up real straight. So we were good for a little bit. Fast forward to February of 2020, a few months later. It's my sister's bachelorette party in Mexico. Okay. Right before the pandemic. I basically ruined my sister's bachelorette party. I get so drunk. I'm yelling at her. I'm berating her. I'm calling her a bridezilla. I'm saying the most insane shit to the person that I literally love the most in front of all of her friends. The most embarrassing, shameful moments of my fucking life. Like sitting on that flight from Cabo to San Francisco, the darkest hours, the darkest of hours. Like I was like, if my sister ever talks to me again, this is going to change everything. And I knew in that moment also just like something's got to give. Something's got to give. And so we had a conversation when we got back to San Francisco, because obviously she's my sister and she loves me more than anything in the world. And I love her the same way. But she sat me down. We were both working at Salesforce. We like got a conference room. And she looked
at work.
And business hours. And she was in a suit because she is a boss bitch. Yeah. She will sell you anything and you'll buy it. And she was like, look, I forgive you because I'm your sister and we're blood. But you just moved in with the love of your life, who you see yourself marrying, and you officially have something to lose. Yeah. And this is not going to work if you continue on the way that you have been. And this has always been the way you've been. So you've got to figure this out. And from that moment, I was just like, all right. The work began. I started I stopped drinking. I didn't drink for like a year. I told Andy, I was like, I don't want to drink. He was like, perfect. Like, I literally hate drinking. Like, this is amazing. Perfect excuse. Like, done. Sign me up. That's like when he was entering his annoying biohacker era. And I just like, I read the book, Quit Like a Woman.
Yep, so
I got into therapy. I realized how much like I was repressing my anger, and then it like would come out when I was drinking. Like it was never gonna work. Like, especially if I didn't heal the shit that was coming up for me, because if you use alcohol as a way to like cope with things, it won't work. Like it might work once or twice, but like you will literally like chemically combust and it will backfire in the most insane way.
Yeah.
So that's like, I really just started like unpacking all of it and like understanding root cause. And then, I introduced alcohol back in to my life like a year after. I was like, maybe I can make this work. Maybe.
No.
And you know what, though? For a little bit, I was like, there is a world where I can coexist with alcohol. I've like rewired my brain, and I've like learned like my triggers, like got these tools to like figure out like if it's okay for me to have a drink, whatever. I had this like formula that I thought was foolproof.
Yeah.
And then actually like and I drank like on average like 5 to 7 like nights out of the year. For like those
the week.
Those 2 years. Okay. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I get it.
Absolutely not. Like special occasions.
Yeah.
Like, for my wedding, I drank. Like my bachelorette party, I drank. Like and I was having no issues. I was like, I've cracked the code. And then this past August, I went out with my girlfriends. We had a great girls' night, but I was not planning on drinking. I did not pass my vibe check. I did not follow my rules, and it backfired. And like
on your girlfriends or on Andy?
Actually on no one in particular, but I had the most insane level of anxiety the next day that I was just like, I forgot what this is like. I forgot that like something horrible doesn't have to happen like for me to feel this way. Like I just don't want to deal with this shit anymore, and I'm done. And I'm just like, literally,
that was
like,
my goodbye
for right now. Like, I do not even this is the first time actually since this whole journey that I'm like, no.
Off put by it? No, like I'm so uninterested.
Like it actually like makes me sick thinking about it.
Agreed. All right. I feel like we could talk for literally 5 hours, but we have another one on yours. But really fast to close. I do a segment called Filling Your Cup because I think it's so important that we fill our own cup. How do you fill your cup? As granular or as general as you would like?
My skincare routine.
Yeah, girl, your skin is fucking flawless.
I just fucking love my skincare
I'm going to
routine.
ask you actually I know you have it somewhere on like a Shop My or something, and I'll put it in the show notes.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. But more recently, and this is the note that I will end on, is I'm trying to prioritize meditation. Just 10 minutes on the Calm app. Not every day, but like whenever the fuck I can, because especially for ADHD, it helps me so much move through the day with like making like better decisions. Like, do I really need to pick up my phone? Do I really need to bring my phone to the bathroom?
Makes you more mindful.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
bringing the phone into the bathroom.
No, like
it's a battle every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Hour.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, here we are.
So that's how I'm filling my cup these days.
I love you so much.
I love you.
For people who want more of you, where can they best support you?
At Kelly Grace Mae, MAE, not MAY.
And your show?
And my show, A Very Nice Day with Kelly Grace Mae on YouTube, Spotify.
That was the way I was going to open the show, and I forgot.
No, I forget it too.
No, last night I thought, I was like, okay, we'll sit down and we'll be like, it's a very nice day to chat with Kelly Grace Mae. Okay, well, there you go.
I love you.
I love you.